Namaste, Salaam, Shalom, peace, and in Russian, mir. My name is Sheldon, and I'm the Director of Global Strategy of Nonviolence. We have an amazing opportunity at our fingertips. I would humbly like to announce a new global peace movement is prepared as an emergency plan, a global movement of nonviolence for the children. But first, here's a story to make you feel good, a look into the future. In 2122, the people will celebrate the 100-year anniversary of a planet united and dedicated to helping others because of one action, the starting point. Women rose up as the peacemakers to stop war and militarism via a new global peace movement promoting nonviolence as the doctrine for all societies and countries. No violence was the goal. Here's a toast to women in nonviolence, because the combination was able to save the planet and save lives. Or maybe they were not successful. We won't know unless we try, and we have to try. There are 3 women I'll mention later that can make it happen. The opportunity I mentioned is that there are thousands and thousands of amazing initiatives already started, and they're all trying to unite, but they don't quite have the right formula. Here's a proposal to unite under one umbrella: nonviolence, to make no violence the goal. We can unite the climate and peace movements first, then all the other movements, the youth, labor, indigenous, Black Lives Matter, Poor People's Campaign, all the religions and spiritual organizations, and mayors and community leaders everywhere to create the largest people movement the world has ever seen. Nonviolence is about anti-war, but also about promoting goodwill, kindness, compassion, generosity, and genuine caring. It makes you feel good. Every time I finished speaking about women leading a global movement of nonviolence, I was in a very serene, meditative place because I could feel the importance of the cause. We have to do it because COP26 failed and the recent Nuclear Proliferation Treaty Conference failed, proving that the governments will not go far enough to resolve the crises. All the world crises are getting worse, and the war in Ukraine has changed the world in the wrong direction, towards militarism and division. We need to unite to address the world's crises and help each other. We need something different and special to make it happen. So here's the incredible link for everything to coalesce. UN Secretary General Guterres set the stage for a people movement when he issued a call for a global ceasefire. Guterres's one act is the most important and profound global actions because stopping war affects all issues. The global movement of nonviolence is the perfect follow-up plan and strength to sustain and perpetuate the ceasefire. I'm very fortunate to have presented the plans to Guterres's staff, and I plan to return to meet with him to ask him to reissue the ceasefire, this time with a people movement to back it up. A complete strategy is prepared to present to Secretary General Guterres that includes women leaders, philanthropists, the media, and civil society experts to illustrate that the support and resources are available for the women leaders to operate for success. The last element is for the women leaders to announce the movement is coming. This is the immediate objective. Get the movement started. The plans are prepared for the largest marketing campaign ever devised. In the beginning, it's all about outreach and promotion. The movement includes the answer to the question, what can I do? A major segment is the local application, and a special segment is for a philanthropic foundation, the constructive segment, led by women. And lastly, a plan for nonviolent direct action and lobbying. This movement is designed for women to take the reins. I have networked with non-governmental women leaders and men from around the world planting seeds. Once the movement begins, all the women leaders will join, and the men leaders. The movement will be led by women, but it's for everyone, as the civil rights movement in the US was for everyone. Men are included. But women have already been uniting and have practiced mobilizing, as evidenced by the Women's March on Washington. Women marched in Jerusalem. Women crossed the DMZ in Korea. Women in India, and the Me Too movement. The global movement of nonviolence is designed to harness the power of women and nonviolence together to create trust and respect among nations and people, and create the atmosphere to reallocate military spending. Truth to power. Even with all the amazing peace and climate initiatives, all the scholars and think tanks, things are getting worse. I'm usually not a person that's critical. I'm sorry to say, we are failing. I predict an incident will occur, an accident or a crazy action that gets blown out of proportion, and emotions, pride, and the desire for revenge will take over. We are not prepared. We have not practiced nonviolence, except some groups, for example, Pache Bene, Nonviolence International, and the humanists are fantastic. The humanists in Latin America have been promoting nonviolence in very large initiatives. They're far ahead of the rest of the world. Over the past 6 months, all the leaders at the end of peace webinars have been saying we need to unite and we need a mass movement. Well, here's a plan, and it can begin immediately. Gorbachev, before he died, said, "Don't be afraid to dream." A dream is exactly what is needed, a vision. I have set up the parameters to unite all the movements, set up the strategy to start the movement, and identified the power to make it happen. I'm not a power person. I'm an architect, a developer. And this plan is about creating a new power, which is powerful. This is about creating change, political clout, and the transition to something new. Before Russia invaded Ukraine, the whole world said no to war. This is our opportunity. The people don't want war. Now is the perfect time for a global peace movement. And all that is needed is the leadership to unite the people. There are 3 women that can make it happen, and or other women as well. Beatrice Finn, Naomi Klein, and Medea Benjamin. When these women join together to promote the umbrella movement, it will create a chain reaction of leaders uniting around the world, which in turn unites the people in every country. And the people are waiting for something good to happen, and they want to be part of something bigger than they are. This is the time for action. Can you feel the excitement? Can you see the power of nonviolence? It will not be easy, and there will be risks, but we must not leave the world crises for the children. I am here today to ask you to reach out to these women, to ask them to take ownership of the process to get the movement started. It will pave the way for new women leaders and men to rise up from the masses. Here's an article showing 2 billionaires with opposite political views coming together, Charles Koch and George Soros. They funded the startup of the Quincy Institute to stop endless war. This article proves stopping war can transcend ideology, religion, nationalism, and politics. and the billionaires can fund the movement. The world needs to change. And what better way to stop war than by women promoting goodwill and a commitment to nonviolence to create the trust and respect among nations and people? Beatrice Finn wrote, "It's time to counter the old vision of the world with a new one based on reason and cooperation. It's time for a truly feminist foreign policy. The fate of the earth depends on it." Unquote. The movement is a plan of action every day. There are nonviolent direct actions to capture and keep the attention of the media. And the piece de resistance is the constructive segment for people to work together for humanity, helping others. The last part of the story is that our house is burning. This is an emergency. There are floods, heat waves, and wildfires, and war, literally and metaphorically. We must act now. The obstacles to create change are enormous. But this is a strategy to overcome the obstacles. We have to think big. We have to invite the experts like Vijay Prashad, Barbara Ween, David Swanson, Vandana Shiva, and Jody Evans. And please forgive me for not naming all the other experts and women leaders. There is so much more to discuss. Please contact me to ask me about the chain reaction, the marketing plan, and special events, what you can do, and a special catalyst. If I may be so bold, when women lead a global peace movement, it will change the world and also help to create gender equality. And after the month of September, promoting peace, it's time to announce a new global peace movement is coming, a global movement of nonviolence for the children. Please contact me and contact the women leaders. This is the moment in history to do what has never been done before. For the children. Thank you. Peace and love.